Hi there, Anita Dawn from Cell Pilates, and today I'm going to be asking myself and you whether Pilates is sufficient for strength training, that whether the exercises that we do are enough to create greater strength in the body, which is important as we get older because it's the muscles that move us around and that keep us mobile. Or whether we need to do separate strength training. So Pilates does give us a really good baseline of strength. But according to, myself and a lot of research out there, it's not sufficient. The focus is different. In Pilates, we focus on core strength and back mobility. And by doing that, we tend to get a full body workout. But the focus really is alignment and control and becoming more mobile. It's not about strength. Whereas strength training, we really need to focus on the muscle and train it. Take a resistance heavy enough to make an impact on the muscle. And that means to fatigue the muscle within about 8 to 12 repetitions and repeat that 2 to 3 times a week to get results. And that is so important that we maintain muscle mass, we keep the muscle strong in order to prevent sarcopenia, which is loss of muscle, which happens if we don't use our muscle, use them or lose them as we get older, and then we start getting injured around the joints, we become less mobile, maybe chair bound, and then lose our independence. Also, strength training helps to prevent and also reverse osteopenia, but we need to be lifting heavy enough weight to make an impression on the muscle and on the bones. So knowing that we need to, today we're focusing on the back and the exercises that we do within a Pilates class. I'm just going to show you a couple and just to demonstrate where the focus is and why we do what we do in Pilates. But we also add some exercises for the back because we know that we need more back exercises than Joseph Pilates created in his repertoire. So we do add some regular strength training, but then the focus is different. All right, and then I'll show you some of what we do in strength training and give you some of the differences and the options. All right, so let's start off with a hip hinge. So we can use, generally in Pilates, we use body weight, and so we use gravity as resistance. So we're going to start off standing. You can join me if you want to, or just demonstrating. So a hip hinge where we have that nice upright postural alignment here. I'm not going to go into it. It's not a Pilates class, but a hip hinge is where we hinge from the hip just about 45 degrees, and we want to keep neutral spine. So it's a challenge because gravity pulls you forward here, and it makes us work through the whole of the spine, the lower back, middle back, and the upper back. So it is a great exercise, and we can make it more challenging with adding resistance like a band or even weights, but then the focus is not the same. All right, and then we do some exercises lying down on the floor. We have what we call swimming, but then we're working really in a very small range of movement, which is more isometric, whereas when we work the muscle for strength training, let's take the bicep, for example, we want to work it through the full range of movement so it becomes strong in the full range. If we just do isometric hold like that, you're only getting strength in that one area where you've worked the muscle. So coming down onto the floor, this is swimming, and it's not particularly the beginner exercise I'm showing you, but this is still the level 1, opposite arm to leg, and I'm keeping myself in neutral alignment and just overloading the back muscles, all the posterior chain, by lifting my limbs against gravity. Okay, and we do another couple of similar exercises lying on the floor and see how small your range of movement is. We do add what we call a reverse fly in Pilates classes. Well, I do, and I think a lot of instructors do. So I've got a light band here, and I'm just going to scrunch it up so that I can have a good palms facing inward alignment and elbows slightly bent. And then I'm working into my rhomboid muscles. This is quite a light band, which I would recommend in a Pilates class, but it's not really strong enough to create that strength training stimulus in the muscle. Yeah, so that's reverse fly, which you'll find people do, and also rowing, often seated rowing, again with a flexiband round the feet there, up nice and tall. And then this is a rowing or pulling action, working into your lat muscles, your back muscles. So when you use a band, you don't have to worry about gravity. So you have an anchor point, which are the feet, and then I'm pulling away from the anchor point. But I think the main difference between Pilates and strength training classes or sessions is the focus of what is your focus, what are your goals with that exercise, with that session. So in strength training, I would do the same reverse fly, but I would take a heavier band and reduce the repetitions, and I would count how many I'm doing, because that then if I'm doing too many, like 20, then I know I need to increase the resistance and get it within 8 to 12. And that's where we create a stimulus, make a difference in your muscle in the strength training fibers, because we have endurance fibers and strength training fibers in the muscle. Yeah. So in a strength training class, I would do the same as the row. We could do a bent over row. We can use weights. The thing with the weights is that we need body position to be correct in order to work against gravity. So I wouldn't teach this in a Pilates class, although it's, why not, I don't know, but it's all about the focus. I'm really focusing on taking a weight. This is too light. I would add some weight. Maybe I'd use a band as well at the same time. So the beauty with the band is that you don't need gravity, and you have different, like you have different weights, but it's rare that you're going to have a variety of weights in a Pilates class. All right, but bands are great because you can have different thicknesses. If I fold it in half, then I've got double the resistance. Okay, but within a strength training class, I tend to do more functional strength training, and this is not something that I would do in a Pilates class, because a lot of people still don't have an anchor, a door anchor. This is I've got a bolt in the wall, but you can use a door and a door anchor. So here I'm going to do a high row, so really working more into my lower lats, lower middle to lower back, and really, so this is the function, is the focus here is very much on making sure that I have sufficient resistance. So I might take the 2 bands there so that I fatigue the muscle within those 12 repetitions, and then I'd repeat this 2 to 3 times a week. And it's worth it because you really can make strength gains really very, very fast. And it just feels really good when you can feel that you can lift things and it's not an effort, and you know that you're not going to get injured. Yeah. So let me know what you think. And so I definitely, I think that you really must, and a lot of research out there says that as we age, particularly women, we need to be doing strength training. So that's lifting more weights. Yeah, lifting more weights. And I recommend the bands. Yeah. So if you want to know more about that, then do get in touch, because I do have some online strength training classes as well as face-to-face. I prefer to do it face-to-face because I can really see the technique much, much better. And that's so key, that the technique is really good. Yeah. So I hope I've convinced you that, yes, we all need to start, I think, with Pilates. It's great to start with Pilates. Gives you a really good, as I say, alignment, awareness, and also strengthening the core. You need a core. And we always say in the gym, you need to work from the inside out. You've got to strengthen the core before you go and lift the weights, before you go to the gym. Everybody needs to do Pilates first. Yeah. But then everybody then needs to also continue with the Pilates, but then take up strength training and focus on strengthening all the major muscles in your body. All right. So let me know your thoughts on that. And are you strength training, or would you like to know more about strength training for women over 60? All right. So thanks for staying with me there. And yeah, it's important. So do give it some thought. And if you want any help, get in touch.